golden age. To control your fate is all the rage. Flip the script, fold the page. This is it, behold the stage. We've made the maps, but face the facts. Everything great we retain just may collapse. The collapse has taken our cake away and we aim to take it back. Any alien race invading our space, we're making them pay for that. So raid attack in ways will aim at your face and blast away the mask. We'll take an axe and hack away till we break your back. Grenades and flak will chase us back. We're built to stay in the Milky Way's new neighbors.
Hey guys, that song you just heard was Destiny by Dan Bull, and welcome to the
Shodcast.
And there we go again with our lovely sound effect.
I know, it's awesome.
So we're joined this week by myself, Michael, the moderator, I guess, Govind,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yeah.
and
Hello.
we also have this week Mike, or Ronan Mike, or Ronan Mick, or however.
Ronan Mick.
Ronan Mick,
Yeah.
I'll do.
Ronan.
Who is also joins us in a lot of our YouTube videos. So if you haven't checked any of them out,
especially Rust.
Yes, especially Russ, where we run around patrolling
Naked.
the beach, angry
Right.
Baywatch. And if this is your first time, we are a group of gamers who run the website shoddypixels.com and respective YouTube channel. And
Yes.
it's
Check it out.
episode 2 of our podcast. First one went pretty well, I think. Guys, any thoughts?
Yeah, it was fun. It was
It was
fun.
good.
No, it was fun.
Seems
Good
to
to
have
listen
got.
to.
Yeah, we
I'm surprised you asked me to come back.
well, we wanted the
Me too.
stalker, creepy breathing
Yes.
noise going, but we
No,
fixed
but-
that now, unfortunately.
My headset
Yeah.
actually having audio problems this week.
Yeah, touch wood.
Touch wood. Or if your headset's made out of wood for some reason, don't
Yeah,
touch
don't touch
anything
wood.
about
Don't touch
it.
it.
Yeah.
That may be the problem. My headset's
Yeah.
made out of wood.
Wooden
So anyway,
headset.
let's get right into it, guys. So let's start off with what have we all been playing this week? Who wants to go? Cricket
Awkward
noise.
silence.
Okay, I'll go first. So I started playing just yesterday a game called Dead Effect, which wasn't at all what I was expecting. I was expecting Rust, but in a sci-fi world with guns and stuff. And it's a lot more like Doom, somewhere between Rust and Doom, and it's really good fun. And I've actually stopped playing it just so that in a couple of days I can start recording a Let's Play of it, because it's a really fun game.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it only has single player. They are apparently doing co-op, but they've also started work on the sequel, so I'm gonna guess that co-op is probably a long way off. But it'd be a good game for co-op, so hopefully it comes, or the sequel has it. So
Yep.
everyone should check that game out. It's like $5 or something like that on Steam, and it came out this year or the end of last year.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
Like you're crawling along, like you wake up in a what do you call it, like a stasis chamber, and everything's
Ooh.
fucked. Like the whole shit's
Red
like
Dwarf
flashing.
reference.
Yeah. Alright, they've but then you get out and you're like, what the hell's going wrong? And then you start seeing zombies eating the remains of the crew.
That's nice.
So it's
Always a pleasant sight.
yeah, and it's pretty intense
Tasty.
as well. Has a pretty good soundtrack as well. Although it's intense probably because I was playing it on hard, but I don't know how it plays on normal, but yeah. So that's Dead Effect. Next person.
Dead Effect. That's nice. I'll go next. Deadcore. You know, I desperately wanted to put something else there, but then I realized that that's what I played the most.
So for anyone who doesn't understand why we're laughing, in the first episode I challenged Govind as part of our Shoddy challenge to finish the last level of Deadcore, so
Yes.
there'll be a bit more info on that coming up later, but
Yes.
go on
yes,
anyway.
There's a lot of info coming up on that, but I just want to say, like, whoever made Deadcore hates
5-bit
people
games?
being happy. No, they hate people being. They're the kind of people who just want to grab a fork and stab your eyes out. That's the kind of person that made the levels for Deadcore. And I mean
make
this with
Portal.
like no disrespect. That's the thing. It's just because it's meant to be like that.
and like
It's just
it is well made as well.
No, it's a solid game. I did have some issues with the frame rates and so
Yeah.
on, which you'll be able to see as well if you check out the channel. But it is insane because it is so non-linear. It screwed with me beyond recognition. Like I was mumbling and like I was completely lost towards the end. I was just like, oh my god, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yes, so Deadcore and a couple of itch titles for the scratchtheitch.io, but mostly Deadcore.
Oh yeah, everyone do check out his Lakeview cabin video. That's hilarious.
Ah, yes. I ride a motorcycle into a cabin and die with a ball of flames.
And the rake.
It's really fun.
Nice.
And the rake is.
If
the
anyone's
rake is the
seen
star.
the scene from The Simpsons where Sideshow Bob steps on the rake a whole lot of times, it's kind of like that in a 2D platformer or 2D side scroller.
Only you, Govind. Only you.
Yes, he makes it a lot. He makes it sound a lot more stupid than it was because there is no jump, right? So I couldn't jump over the rake. I had to go through it, and it was persistence. It was like go hit, poof, gone. Go hit, gone. But yes, but mostly Deadcore. So yeah,
Nice.
that's yeah.
Rachel, Mike, who's up?
I have been playing 2 games, but I'm only going to talk about one because I'm going to have videos for the second one, so you can all wait.
Yep.
Ooh.
But Final Fantasy 14.
How is it?
It's pretty good. It's actually, I think I'd played it when it first came out, and it was just really weird and
Yep.
yeah, full old school, like that. You know, all the writing would come up on the screen and no voices. But now it's really sort of brought in, I guess, the mix of WoW, DC Universe, and ESO. It's with the Final Fantasy story behind it, and I
Okay,
like
'cause-
it. It's fun.
Because it did horribly for like a good year when it first came out, and then they kind of just
yeah.
went, okay, we get it, we made a shit game. Here's a patch that completely changes it.
Yeah, no, it's way better than what it was when it first came out. So I'm really enjoying it because I kind of like the MMO RPGs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it still?
That was
Is it
gonna-
still a
probably the
subscription
same-
game?
Yeah,
Yes.
same question.
Unfortunately, yes, you still got to pay to
Yeah.
play. So
How much is it?
I think I'm paying about $15 a month.
Yeah, I don't want to
15.
do that. I don't know
Plus,
if it-
so-
what, 50 for the game, or like 60? What is it, 59?
No, I got it off of Steam, and I think there was a sale on. I think.
yeah,
I
there
don't know, I don't-
was. It was like half
Oh.
price or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how long I will be playing because of the subscription, but
Yeah.
I'm a couple
Okay.
of months into it. Fun!
Cool. And Mike, what have you been playing?
Well, due to my computer being broken,
Oh,
not
yeah.
a lot, but
Sorry, it's a touchy subject. Yeah, I've been playing Calculator.
no, I've actually started going back to the console. Played a bit of Watch Dogs,
Yep.
which has kind of been talked to death. But I actually got back into mobile gaming,
Ooh.
unbelievably.
So, guys, this is Mike's final episode of the Shodcast.
Hey, no, it's a good one. Galaxy on Fire 2. I
Okay.
realise it's also out on Steam and PC, but I first came across it on the iPad.
What is it? I've never heard of it.
Alright.
It's a sort of space-based, well, not flight sim, but action adventure shooter.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
actually Gavin owns it as well.
I own it?
Yeah, you do.
Supposedly.
It could be from one of the bundles. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty good game. It's an old game, but I think it came out 2011 for
Okay.
Steam and iPad and things.
Galaxy on Fire 2, Full HD. Yeah, I have it. It was part of a bundle, definitely.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Side note to that, I started organising my Steam library last night into categories. I have so many games I've never even
yeah.
read the title of, let alone opened.
Yeah, bundles do that. When you get like, and no disrespect to the bundle companies that do this, but they're really crappy bundles for like $1, but you have like 10 games.
And they chuck in a few that just no one plays.
Yeah, and well, there's probably one game that someone plays, but everything else no one's gonna ever play. So I have like a lot of games, and most of them were from like really stupid bundles. But when you see the deal, it's kind of hard to like walk away from.
Yeah.
No, but
It's like a
if you're
crash
in-
site.
Yeah.
You don't want
If
to
you're
look,
into
but you
sort of,
can't look away.
Yeah, if you're into sort of space action shooter games, It's a really good one to get into. Like, check it out.
So is it like from a cockpit of a spaceship? Is that what?
You're sort of third person,
Okay.
following your own little spaceship, but you can dock at all these different space stations, go into the lounge, talk to these different aliens to get missions.
Okay, so have you
upgrade your hangar.
played Freelancer?
No,
No? Okay.
can't picture it. No,
Okay, that's all good.
kind of like a super cheap version of Star Citizen, maybe.
Yep, okay, yeah, so that's the
there
sort
was
of thing I was...
there was one game on Xbox at Xbox One. It was a Games with Gold game. That reminded me of that as well. It had so
Fair enough. Okay, so there's a list of games for you guys to go check out.
Definitely.
All highly recommended. Definitely deadcore of all of them.
I
And
will say this about Deadcore: they know what they were doing, and they like knew how to like get under your skin. I'll explain everything else later, but that's just they were really good at what they did. That's all I can say.
Exceptionally great torturers.
Yes.
okay, so next up we've all not spoken to each other about these. We're gonna highlight a early access title.
Yes.
So if anyone want to go first?
I'll go for it. Mine's a little different because it is a car game like last time, but it's actually a car game that when we talked about it, I told you I hated it. I didn't see the concept of it all, and you told me no, it's fun, right?
Wait, who did this? Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael. So the game's called Next Car Game. It's basically like a demolition derby game, which was single player.
Haven't they changed the name of it now?
Yep. It's called Next Car Game Wreckfest, and it has 16-player multiplayer. And
Breakfast.
Yeah, Wreckfest.
I never even noted the similarity between food there.
Not breakfast.
I wasn't talking about food.
Wreckfest. But it has 16-player multiplayer, and that in a demolition derby setting, I think it would be like awesome.
It also
And
has
you get to-
crazy workshop support, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it has insanely realistic physics. So like, it's not like you hit the front bumper and the back bumper just goes weird. It's actually, the damage is very realistic, and they've put a lot of work into that.
Yeah,
So
you can
you
really
can,
tell
like-
that it's made by a group of people who just want to have like a really good car sim, but then have it be stupid fun as well.
Yeah, and if you like, when you're playing, you can like hit people out, crash into people, slam into. Basically, you can do everything you do in normal car racing games that you say accidents, and then just claim it to be, yeah, I did it because I want to. What are you gonna do about it? So that's my early access highlight.
Nice.
Okay.
That sounds like a great
It's-
game if you get all your friends together on Skype. And
Yeah,
you just
if you just like
swear
go
at each other
nuts
while
on
you crash into each
it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Demolition Derby back in PlayStation 1 days was so much fun. They had split
Oh,
screen,
yeah.
and I remember playing that.
Oh, I
heaps
hate
with my
split screen.
friends.
Oh my god.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Okay, so next.
Horizontal or vertical, can't do it.
Okay, so someone
I
else.
used to look into the other person's screen and
I
be like,
know,
wow,
you
I'm
know.
doing really well.
Well, there's a
Like,
game
yes,
based around that now called Screen Cheaters or something like that, where the idea is to screen cheat to try and beat the other person.
Nice. That's nice.
That might be an early access too, I don't know, but that wasn't my plug.
Okay.
Check it out.
What is your plug, though?
Mine's Victor Vran. It's a
Yes.
isometric action RPG game that I covered on the site the other day, and I wasn't expecting too much of it. I've been pretty burnt by the genre. For those who don't know what isometric action RPGs are, Diablo, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights,
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
If those names don't ring a bell, you don't know what the game type is. But
Like semi bird's eye view sort of thing.
yeah, it's kind of like it's a third-person one, but with a fixed camera from an angle.
Okay.
And you run around, you click on things.
Click,
Kind of
click,
like,
click.
if you zoom all the way out in
Sims.
World of Warcraft,
Oh god.
Or Sims.
like
sort
that.
of.
But and the genre's been pretty light on the last few years. Like Diablo 3 was pretty disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Titan Quest was honestly the last good one I can think of, and that was 2006 maybe at the latest.
Wow.
And this game's insane fun, and like a lot of the things, the old games. Whenever you go back and play old games, it's really hard to keep playing them because they seem to lack like a thing to hook you in that we're used to nowadays. Like, games have reasons to keep playing, whether it's achievements or like little side quests that are just fun, or mini games or something to just break it up. And old games didn't have that, and we just played them because we liked the game, like, which is good, but it just doesn't work because we're not used to it anymore. And this one, in every zone you go to, there's like 5 separate challenges. So you go into a zone and there'll be like 3 dungeons. Each of those dungeons have their own set of challenges. You go into a dungeon, it'll be like kill 80 enemies within 2 minutes, or kill 100 enemies without dying, or defeat this boss, or find all these secrets and that sort of thing. And like they're not only are they fun challenges, but they have meaningful rewards. So like you'll get half a level worth of XP for completing them all and that sort of thing. So it's really good.
That's cool.
And it's pretty early still on.
Yeah,
actually, I don't know. They've deliberately left out stuff so that they don't spoil the story and stuff. So like, you get to the quest giver and she's like, "Hey, we're not going to give you the story yet because the game's not out. But here's the zones you can go to."
I hear sequel.
God.
So it's pretty good. It's really good.
Microtransactions. Rachel, you're on.
It's really good. I recommend checking it out. It's got a good loot system, got a good level system. Everything is done really well, to be honest.
Yeah. Victor Brand, I think it came out like even in early access, just came out like last week or the week before, right? I mean, it's pretty recent.
Yes,
I mean, the card title that I mentioned is like a year back and it's still in early access.
I'm not sure if it did come out on
but...
Steam recently. It's people have had access to it for quite a while, because if you look at the forums, there's a lot of people talking about level caps that were like level 6 and that sort of thing. It's now level 15 and that. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
Right. Whether it's just hit Steam recently and it used to be on IndieDB or Dazura or something, I don't know.
Could be. Yep.
Yeah. Rach, Mike, who's up?
Awkward silence.
We need to plan this out a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I picked Reign of Kings.
Yep.
Oh right.
Came out.
Which we all have, and you're the only one that's played, I'm guessing.
I played a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But this laptop I borrowed just can't cope with it at the moment. So,
See, I've been being polite. Rach bought the game for me, so I'm waiting to play it with her.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd just check out if the computer could deal with a decent game.
I told you to.
And yes, I got permission.
Oh, yes. That's what counts. Reign of Kings, I got permission. It just goes really well with the name, you know?
Well, I guess I won't be the king. Your local Chester. Here we go.
So, is it as good as the trailer makes it look?
I don't know. I haven't watched the trailer.
Okay. So maybe. That's a maybe. Solid maybe.
It is actually pretty good. The only... Well, yeah, I'd say it would be like Chivalry meets Rust, but with poor fighting mechanics. Kind of like Chivalry. But because it's so early in the making, I think they've worked on the kind of idea behind it, the graphics and settings, and not so much the fighting. I think they're working on that.
Because I do remember seeing the trailer for it, and it looked like the sword was just like swinging around, sort of thing.
It's like you hit someone, and then a half second later, the blood comes out, so you weren't quite sure if you hit them or not. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we brought this up last time as well, but the developer hasn't been the most thorough developer before, because they made another game called Starforge. And they've just kind of legged it on that.
Getting the cash.
Yeah. So,
but apparently, see you later,
this one has got a lot better response from the community, and like all the Starforge players are like, okay, we kind of forgive you this time, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
just don't stuff it up again.
Survival sandbox with medieval, and you got a winner. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Because
finish it.
Is it MMO or is it 16-player or something like that, or what's the deal?
No, I think the servers are up to 50 people.
Oh wow.
Okay, so it's still smaller than most of the survival games, though.
Yeah.
It's like Nether, I guess.
It's on par for most early access survivals at the moment.
Yep.
But for the bigger titles, yeah, it's still smaller. Yeah.
Is it more or less all PvP, or is there some PvE? Is there like bots and...
The majority I've found seems to be more roleplay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a lot of the servers are roleplay.
Okay.
People
Oh, okay.
got right up behind the medieval stuff and they're wandering around going, "Hello, good morrow to you." and-
Okay, I guess what
Yeah.
I was
That's
more
actually,
asking is there something to do if you don't want to talk to other people?
Oh hell yeah! You can spend hours on end, like just like Rust. If you want to go hard in the corner of the map and just gather and
Okay.
build a giant castle.
But you
Fine,
have like
but-
PvE, like enemy bots, like bears or
No,
dogs
there are some kind of weird.
I think it's
Mutant
all
creatures?
PvP at the
Oh,
moment.
okay.
Okay.
I think.
And it's kind of like Rust. There are towns that are infected with the plague, so you get damaged when you walk in, trying to find goods
okay.
and
So
stuff.
like the radiation thing in
Instead of
Rust,
like a radiation city or something.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so Reign of Kings is another one. Rach, that means you're up.
This is
Yep.
going to sound really, really dodgy, but my pick was Raider Kings as well.
That's okay. That was
Nice.
part of the idea with this segment was that
Yes.
if two people happen to pick the same game, then it actually just highlights that this is probably a game you should look at, sort of thing.
Yeah, we actually discussed about that when we formed the podcast idea, and we made sure that we shouldn't tell each other what the game is because then you'll be forced to pick another game or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just means Reign of Kings is a game you really should check out. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
if all four of you pick it, then it's a must-see.
Yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, no, I kind of, well, I'm kind of over survival games, but I like the medieval style. So, and I've been watching quite a few streamers play it, especially with the role playing as well. It looks fun, and just the building. It's just like a smoother version of Minecraft.
Okay, so
As
it
far
has
as the
block by
building
block
goes.
building, does it?
Yes.
Because I'm really hating, I hate that the building mechanics from Rust and the forest and that are becoming normal. I hate that, like, all the
The
buildings looking
foundation.
exactly the same and that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, no, there is
No,
block
this is
by
block
blocks.
building, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, but no, I'm just looking really forward to playing it. So
Okay, so
Nice.
there you go, guys. You
We
should
should-
definitely at least have a look at Reign of Kings. You know, it doesn't cost anything to look.
Yep,
Um,
definitely not.
And yeah, so that's our early access segment. So now comes to the
Damn.
bulk of what? Go.
No, that was pretty quick considering we had like 4 games.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy when two
pretty good.
people say the same thing.
yeah,
Well, that's the point, I guess.
So that brings us to the bulky segment where we chat about some news, and I've got some interesting
yes.
pieces. I'm going to start with a shorter one, I think, because the big one I think is going to take, if we let it, it'll take the whole time.
probably.
So, has anyone seen any news about Halo that isn't about Halo 5 in the last week?
No.
No.
No, I watched
Okay.
Halo 4 movie.
Was it any good?
Yeah.
Not really?
That's like the most unconvincing ever.
Okay.
It was an hour and a half trailer, basically, but yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, so has anyone played Halo on PC?
I remember playing like a bit, but that's it. Yeah, no.
Okay, so I'm
Nothing
going to tell you a quick story about my personal history with Halo. When Halo was first announced, I was still in school and I used to buy PC Gamer magazines all the time. And I didn't have any interest in consoles because the consoles at the time were like maybe the PS2 just sort of thing. It was like very early on when I was doing all this stuff. And there was this 8-minute trailer for a game, which was unheard of then. Like 8 minutes was a long time to put into a pre-rendered trailer, not a gameplay
Yeah.
footage.
Right.
8 minutes and 56 seconds or something like that. I remember this very clearly. So, trailer for a game
huge
called
feature.
Halo.
Yeah.
And it was going to be this massive game that was going to reinvent PC shooters. And it was a PC exclusive, and it was being brought to you by this group no one had ever heard of called Bungie, who were not affiliated with any console in any way. Then, the game disappeared off the radar for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden there was this new game called Halo coming to Xbox only. And it was like this was the flagship. This was what was going to make Xbox this new console by Microsoft. I think it might have even did Halo launch with the Xbox?
I got it with the Xbox
Yes.
360.
Yeah.
It
could be,
launched with the
yeah,
Xbox.
yeah.
It was what
Yeah.
made all the sales. For
Yeah,
Xbox.
so there you go. The trailer came out a couple of years before the first Xbox launched, and
Which
so
was also X1, wasn't it?
yeah, so understandably, I was a bit
Wouldn't have
pissed.
existed without it. Yeah.
I was a bit pissed. I was a kid that didn't have a job. There was no way for me to afford a brand new console. I think I had at that point a Sega Master System 2 still lying around somewhere, and like a Pentium 90. So pretty old
Yes.
computer, and I was
A
struggling
what?
by on that. Sorry?
A what?
Pentium 90 megahertz?
Oh, okay. I thought you
So-
had like a really futuristic Pentium.
No.
You know, there's Pentium
like-
3, 2, 4, and then
No, like
90.
our computers now are 3.4 gigahertz. It was 90 megahertz. And I was getting by on playing Quake on that and that sort of thing. So then a couple of years later, they eventually released Halo on the PC, and I didn't really care because I was too angry about it. To date, there has only been 2 Halo games on PC. There was Halo Combat Evolved, which was that one, and then Halo 2, which came out like 3 years after it did on console.
Yeah.
Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo ODST, Halo Reach. I don't think even Halo Wars, none of those games have come to PC.
No.
No.
Spartan
In the-
Assault did, but no one really cares about that.
Did Spartan Assault come to PC?
Yeah, it's a Windows store
Okay.
game.
Okay, so there's one, my bad. In the last 2 weeks, there was a
Nothing
Halo
worth worrying
game announced for PC. It was
Wait,
called...
I'm sorry, what?
There was a Halo game announced for PC in the last 2
cool.
weeks. It's called Halo Online. It's a competitive multiplayer shooter only. It's
Ooh.
based on Halo 3's engine, but very highly modified. The idea being that on that engine it can run even on very low-end machines by today's standard. There's no campaign. There's currently no plans to bring it to any console, including Xbox One. However,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
only releasing in Russia.
Ah.
Asthma hole.
This game looks really good. Like, Halo multiplayer still is a lot of fun. It's like I can never get into it on a really competitive level, but it's one of those games that everyone can pick up and play and have a good time with their friends and that sort of thing. It's a really good party game.
Yeah.
Not too many people hate it, from my experience.
I got into it hardcore, sort of competitive.
Yeah, and then
one-point,
you've got
but-
that side to it where there's like people like it was one of the most highly competitive games for quite a long time. Halo 3 was, and Halo 2.
Yeah.
My brother still plays it.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. You can jump on Halo 1 and Halo 2, and there's still people playing. Like, there's still a good amount of people on those servers. Not heaps, but, you know, a decent amount. It's probably the only console shooter that I can think of that has that sort of scenario. Like, you've got games like Quake and CS, Counter-Strike 1.6 and that sort of thing that still have huge followings on PC. But your market there's a lot bigger kind of sort of thing.
This was the original game that sort of remade the whole genre, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, Halo made first-person
Especially on
shooters what
console,
they are
yeah.
now, like the regenerating shield health, the 2-weapon pickup, all that. That's come about not because of Halo, but Halo's what made it popularized.
Yeah.
So why is this game only coming to Russia? What the hell?
I guess it has to be like a licensing thing.
They've said that
'cause
they could
Anything
do
goes in Russia. Yeah.
They said that they could do it outside of Russia, and they're not ruling it out, but they have no plans.
But I don't know. Maybe they have a very popular Halo following in Russia that they really want to tap into, and I just don't know. I mean,
Who put
it
up
makes
the
no
cash for this
sense.
project?
Sorry?
Who put up the cash for this project?
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
Putin
It's
did.
I don't have the developer written
I
down.
don't
It
think
is.
we'll ever know.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I just saw it and, like, I literally cracked up in laughter, like, out loud.
Yeah, that.
I just
Yeah,
don't
it just
understand.
makes no sense.
So it sounds
don't
like you're
even
all as
understand.
dumbfounded as me.
It's, as long as it doesn't become a next stalker, you know.
Developers and publishers these days, I really do not understand their logic at all.
I don't understand it because, like, even if it's free to
It's-
play and has, like, aesthetic microtransactions, the Halo fan base is huge.
Yeah.
And
You
this
could
is
make so
this
much
is
money
based
going
on
worldwide.
the most popular installment in the franchise, Halo 3. Like, that's where the engine's coming from. It's going to play like Halo 3 multiplayer, at least at the base level.
I mean,
Is
day
it-
one across the world, you'd have hundreds of thousands, millions of people starting to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's even if it's
If you go
bad,
only Russian,
you'd still
then-
get like that initial, explosion of.
Yeah, ad
gamer-
space
maybe it's a
alone. You could
server
sell an
issue,
ad space
I
in the
guess.
servers.
Yeah.
Is it
You
an
could make
official
as much
Halo
as a
game,
feature
or
Yes,
is it
film
it's
knockoff?
it's
that
endorsed
one
by
day.
Microsoft.
Oh, it's an official Halo
Yep,
game.
it's a developer that I've never heard of. I did do some research, and they have made other games before, but it's it's fully endorsed by, I don't even know what insorted
I think
was.
it was half inserted, but yeah.
It's fully
Yeah,
endorsed by
inserted and
Microsoft.
I want to know what you're inserting.
Yeah, so Microsoft are fully on board with the project. They've okayed it. They've put the money into it or
Wow.
whatever.
Why?
I don't
why?
understand.
It's like who in Microsoft lives in Russia? Is my question.
This,
It's like
this isn't an April Fool's joke or anything, is it?
It was announced on March the 24th.
okay, so they're really mistimed April Fool's joke.
Yeah,
Before
That-
we did it early.
I don't. I feel like you don't announce an April Fool's joke that early.
Yeah, no.
Maybe
that
these
is
guys
just-
do because they just don't get it.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so
Damn,
you're all just
yeah.
as dumbfounded by that announcement as I was.
Yeah.
Oh
Definitely.
Okay, so if we have any Russian listeners, can you
Please.
explain what the fuck's going on? Is like, does like Vladimir Putin like get out in Master Chief armor when he's up on stage or something like that? And it's like
There
a
we
national.
Go. We lost the Russian listeners. No point. No point. We lost
Is it
them.
like a national sport and we just don't know about it or something? Enlighten us, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it's-
think when he started, he'd probably execute himself. But,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Alright.
Okay, moving on.
Gone. That's
Okay,
it,
so-
gone.
We got through that one pretty quick, so I'm going to do the other quick
Yeah.
story here as well before we get into the
Right.
big one. Star Citizen, we've already mentioned that once in this podcast. Did anyone see
Yes.
the news about Star Citizen this week?
No.
oh, not
That's the
lately.
massively funded one, right? Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how massively funded it is?
My God, Vin, you don't know how big
I-
Star Citizen is.
No, I've seen it. I don't remember the figure. I know it's like a bajillion percentage of funding goal reached
Okay.
already.
'Cause-
So
well,
I
yeah,
think
what
I
they
think their
asked
goal
for-
was 1 million or 1.2
Yeah.
million, something like that.
Yep.
It was announced the other day, sometime in the last fortnight, I didn't write down the date, that it's now hit 77 million.
That's nice.
As of last night, it was at
Yeah.
77,340,766 US dollars
Yeah.
from 858,002 backers, which isn't too bad. It
Uh-huh.
works out to roughly $90 a person.
Yep.
The
For a
deve-
game, it's still. I mean.
The developer is confident that they can hit 100 million without any issues.
Oh, easy.
At
That's
its
nice.
current speed, it's going to hit that before the end of the year easily.
Yeah.
It's been called the most successfully crowdfunded anything ever.
If it ever gets finished.
Best name ever.
The one before this, which this is interesting as well. Star Citizen is a massive 4X space sim. So the idea they want to do is make it so it's not just flying your ship and trading. You actually get out, you go and engage with people. Like they want to, the guy, what's his name, Robert. I can't remember. The developer is like basically being like, I want to make a 4X universe sim. So he
Yeah,
wants to
so
have
you
the
can actually land
entire.
on a planet and then go interact and
Yeah, so he wants to have everything. So you can. It's kind of like Second Life if Second Life was cool in sci-fi.
So Star Trek Online.
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
Or
The-
No Man's
the-
Sky, sort of.
the
guess.
game that held the record for crowdsourcing before this was Elite Dangerous.
Mm.
Also
Ah.
a 4X
4X,
space sim,
yeah.
which has
Yep.
done really well and is like pushing a lot of those boundaries as well. This is a genre that
so-
was meant to be dead.
It is so hard. No, because it's so hard to find a really good space
It
sim.
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been
So it's like a
waiting.
very-
Same with the pirate sim. Like, good luck.
Don't even try
yeah.
with that.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
Barshy blows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blows.
Your
Head
ass.
blows. But
I-
yes, good space sim is almost impossible to find, like, unless you go all the way back to some of the old games from
Yeah,
the 90s.
like Elite and Freelancer
Yeah.
and those sorts of games.
Yeah.
So, there's also another big elephant in the room, which is No Man's Sky is another space sim. Like, that's a 4X space sim. Granted, it's not like an uber gritty, realistic looking one, but that's the same sort of game. Like, at least
think it's
everything
very
they've shown
interesting.
us so far, that's a 4X space sim as well, which is also
Yeah,
pushing those
and it
boundaries.
has
You
the
get out,
whole,
you go out
yeah.
and document wildlife, you engage with enemies on foot and all that sort of thing as well. Why the fuck, though, has this hit 77 million?
Oh,
Because, well, like Ronan said, there's not that many good ones. And
I get that,
there's,
but-
like,
he's
a
the maker
massive-
of Wing Commander, or whatever it was, back in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day.
he was.
You know,
I
it's-
get that. And I really
got
want
the-
this game. I really,
got the
really want.
pedigree, but-
I'm willing to spend $50 on this game. Until I see that number and I'm like, they don't need my money.
Yeah. Well,
No, this is about one of the only games, like, when I see, you know, closer to finishing, that I'm willing to pay AAA prices for.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Like,
it's a
most
AAA game.
AAA prices
No one's
are
going to argue
fine.
that's not a AAA game. $77 million budget. That's more than most AAA games get these
So you-
days.
Yeah, and, like, you know, 50 years in the making. So you better get it right. 'cause
Yeah, well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is that
if
is
the
that
last
game
year or
ever
two's
going to meet?
disappointed me, you know, beyond belief.
Is this game
mean,
ever
Yeah.
going to meet expectation zone now?
No, because
I hope so.
I don't think so. It's gonna cost World War III because there's gonna be a lot of pissed off gamers who sent in their money. No, I think it's gonna be impossible for them to like meet the expectations of a person like me, who hasn't followed it, but I see the 77 million, you know,
You don't
price
care,
tag.
but-
or
and
So
whatever.
Yeah,
you're
it's
basically
77
expecting
million worth.
Jesus as a download.
What?
You're basically expecting Jesus as a download because of the price.
Yeah, you get 77 million to make 4X game. You have to make the best ever, like no questions asked.
Yeah, but think about this. The Transformers movie probably cost them $300 million to make.
Yeah, but Transformer movie isn't like
But the
crowdfunded.
Transformers movies suck. So you can't expect much.
Yeah,
for
but I
77
think
million
I
on
think
a
Gavin's hit the
3D
nail on the head there.
animated
If
budget.
you were to put this game out and be like, here you go, here's $90 to buy this game, people wouldn't then equate that to $77 million.
No.
But people are seeing the price before they buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, that's the kind of people who'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed because there's nothing you can make that I'm gonna say, oh man, that was worth 77 million.
But-
No.
but it's
But
for
people like
every
you
single-
who've been like following the game, you know, and
Yeah.
who've invested after seeing what it, you know, what it was supposed to be. I think you'll be pleased. I wouldn't say you'd be impressed because it'd be really hard to be impressed at that level.
I think
mean,
the
that's
majority
just-
of backers are sort of, you know, late 20s to late 30s. sort of.
Definitely, yeah. I think it has
Yeah,
a lot
that
of the
age-
crowd
They're
that
all-
used to be into
they're
the old school
full-on
games.
science fiction fans, like, that have been even seen his old stuff or played his old stuff. To,
Mhm.
you know, they're putting all their hopes into the fact that this is the quintessential, the best, that's ever going to be out up to this point.
See, the
Yeah.
sad thing for me
Which
is
is
Wing
not a problem, but yeah.
Elite Dangerous looks better in my opinion. I think that got 2 mil, something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
just-
Any thoughts? You're a bit quiet there.
I have absolutely no idea what game you're talking about, so
Okay.
I have no comment whatsoever.
That, I guess that is the drawback to me picking the
Yeah.
topics and not telling you what they are.
You've seen the
Yeah.
old
Well-
video, but I doubt she remembers when I showed it.
It's just for me, like at that point when you have that much expectation, like just from what Ronan's talked about, like this is like the big hope, right? This is like the big homecoming.
It's
for
the new hope.
It's the new hope. It is Jesus. But
No, it's Star Wars. That's bigger than Jesus.
Yeah, Disney owns Star
Sorry,
Wars.
religious fans, if you're watching, you're probably not watching YouTube anyway.
but this is the hope
Oops.
for everyone who grew up playing this sort of thing. This is the hope that it can go back to like better times or the old golden age.
Yeah.
How do you impress people who have that sort of hope. I mean, you have to be like mind blowing with Oculus Rift coming in, and people like you can feel.
Well,
like,
it does have
stars
Oculus Rift
zipping by.
support.
It does, but I wouldn't use Oculus Rift because
It's just at
Yeah.
what point
Well,
would
let's not
it
go into that conversation
impress
anyway.
you? Like,
Yeah, I know.
how would you be impressed by it? Because you
I'd
know
be
what to
stunned
expect, right?
If the game mechanics work well, things are.
That's a commentary on the state of the industry.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not just some like full of superstars who, yeah. Okay, let's not get into AAA titles, but yeah.
if it's not like the Expendables, the movie, and if it's
Oh
actually
yeah, pretty much. He nailed that one.
Okay, so we'll call that there. Guys, if you're listening, if you got any thoughts on this, please leave some comments. Love to see a
Yes.
nice little flame war going on in the comments.
Oh, definitely.
definitely, because you've got both sides. You've got Ronan, who's the hopeful, and you've got me, who's like
Cynical.
thinking it's Jesus. Yeah.
Okay, so
Republic or the dark side. Yeah.
I think this next story is going to run us over time. I think we're already running a bit over time, but I want to talk about it anyway because it's a pretty big deal, I think, and could have set a pretty interesting standard. In the
Right.
UK, in an area called Cheshire, or Cheshire, I don't know whether it's a cat or a place,
Treasure.
Um,
All
there's a,
smiles.
there's a
Cheshire
group
cat?
of schools, 16 different schools that got together,
Yeah.
and teachers have written letters to all the students' parents. So 16
Bad
schools,
already.
pretty big group of
Yeah, that's
like parents getting addressed and kids being talked about here.
Oh,
The
cool.
letter says the letter is a warning to parents that if their kids, their underage children, so children under the age of 18, are talking about games that they played that are intended for 18 over only. So we're talking about the adults only rating in the
Right,
UK, which
yeah.
is the R rating in Australia. I'm not sure what it is over where you are, Govind.
18 plus R, it all works. Yeah.
So the kids can't legally buy these games.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers will be reporting that to the police.
That they've been playing them. So
Yes, so
obviously
the kids have been playing games that were intended for adults only. Now,
Wow.
this has come around, or they also warned in the reports that in some cases this could result in the parents being reported as neglectful parents.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
The
Lot
reason this has
of-
most likely come around is last
GTA?
month. No, last month David Cameron, who's the Prime Minister of the UK, announced that, and this is a quote, adults in positions of responsibility could face prison sentences of up to 5 years if they failed to report allegations of the neglect or abuse of children. So I think what's happened is the teachers are gone, oh shit, we're actually responsible for this if we don't do something, because that's what he's implying with this.
I don't think Cameron meant games. I probably
No,
think
but-
like rape is something he probably thought of.
Yeah,
Like, watching that.
but the thing is, neglect and abuse of children is a very broad term, and it does actually cover that stuff. As someone who did a course in youth work,
yeah,
that stuff
Yeah.
definitely does constitute as neglect and abuse of children.
okay.
So there was 3 games specifically that were mentioned. The first one obviously
GTA.
is GTA 5.
Yeah.
Second one was Call of Duty, and the third one was
Yes.
God of War. All
True.
3 of these
Yeah.
carry, if not the 18 plus, the 17 plus. UK has like a 17 plus and an 18 plus
Yeah.
rating. Both of those ratings, it is illegal for people under the age that they're rated. Like, so if you're under 17, you can't buy the 17 plus game. If you're under 18, you
Right.
can't buy that. However, it's not actually illegal for them to play them.
Yeah.
So like the parents could buy it.
Their parents could buy it
Legally.
for their
Or Big
kid,
Brother or whoever, yeah.
Yeah.
and then the kids are legally allowed to play them.
So then the whole teachers being thing, that's kind of stupid.
I honestly think they're just trying to cover their ass for not 5 years of prison time. You'd want to
Is
cover
it-
your tracks.
Yeah, I think what happened is like they've been ignoring like basic child protection, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Like bullying, a lot of abuse and verbal or physical, whatever. And they've been ignoring it because I'm just getting paid to sit in a classroom. or
Don't
one,
get
9 to
involved
5.
'cause this is going to be
It's not
complicated.
worth my time, right? And then this thing came out, and they're like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
we're in
Prison
trouble."
terms.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then they just like
Now
went
start giving a
nuts.
shit.
Yeah,
So-
and then they go on to the other side where it's like super mental.
So my take on this is those 3 games. Let's use those 3 games because they're the ones that are
Yeah.
specifically mentioned. GTA, God of War, and Call of Duty. At least one of the most recent Call of Duties. They all contain torture scenes, among other things. But let's just focus on something extreme.
Or
They've all
like
got
Yeah.
a scene in which a
Oh,
character
an
is
airport
tortured.
apart.
Yeah, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
God of War,
Yeah.
God of War is like one of the most brutal, gory games
Yeah,
ever.
that's
He's
just gory.
not
You
afraid.
don't actually mind if they take God of War and just abolish it altogether.
You shut up! I don't want to hear that. Anyway, and GTA
I
had
like
a
two,
torture
I
scene in
played
it as well.
3 or stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Now,
That was
I
one of the most
don't think
disturbing
there's
things,
anyone, at
yeah.
least in this group of people, that's going to say a 12-year-old should be playing those games. Is there?
Oh no, definitely no.
Or if I had a 12-year-old, I wouldn't be letting them play them in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, there shouldn't be
Yeah.
young kids playing that, and probably the age of the kid should be allowed to play with that. Varies from person to person,
I
but
would
is
say, like,
is closer towards the end of
Parents
teenage
should actually
years.
just,
It should
parent
be
better.
like, yeah,
Start
that's
with.
the thing.
Yeah.
It comes down to that, I mean,
Okay,
like,
so that's
if the-
fine, and parents should parent
Yeah.
better, but
Yeah.
obviously they're not. So,
Well,
putting
yeah.
aside the discrimination of games here, because obviously
Mm-hmm.
they're targeting games. They didn't say anything about movies. They didn't say anything about drugs
All
and
about video
alcohol.
games.
They're
Yeah,
targeting
that-
games.
That's the thing.
It's the
'cause
hottest
I-
topic at the moment, sort of thing.
Yeah, because one thing that I was gonna say was I think in UK there are places with legal alcohol age at 14.
I don't
What?
think there is.
I think so. I've heard something like
Maybe
that.
in Ireland or Wales, but
I'm
Sorry, viewers.
not sure that's right, but if there's any UK listeners, please let
Yeah,
us know.
please clarify because I'm not sure. Like I haven't ever.
I was
been to
under the
UK.
impression the legal drinking age in UK was 21, like it is in America.
Really?
Yeah, I might be wrong though.
Might be 18.
Yeah, it's 18
I
over
doubt
here in
it'd be
Australia.
14.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, like I said, putting aside the discrimination of games.
Oh wait, yeah, 16 or 17. If it's accompanied by an adult, it's okay. They can drink.
Okay. So
So
that's
not
still
parent,
towards the
not
end of your
guardian.
teenage years, though.
Not parent or guardian, just an adult. So if an adult,
So if
accompanied-
homeless
Yeah, I
Jimmy
would've gone over that.
has a bottle of
So
bourbon,
you just take Sideshow Bob and you walk in to a bar and you can drink at 16 years old. And
they're probably
But
not
they-
allowed into the bar
Don't
at
try this
16.
at home, kids. Don't try
no,
this at home.
they're not allowed to buy it, but they're able to drink it. It kind of feels like the same sort of law that
Hey.
the games have.
Yeah.
You can't buy
Well,
it. You
that's
can
like
play it.
in
Game,
Australia,
you can
you can't buy cigarettes if you're 16 or under, but you're allowed to smoke them.
Yeah. So
Like-
it just feels like if you're passing responsibility, it should be on the parents' shoulders to look after to make sure their kids aren't like
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah, but
fucked up
obviously
by
obviously
games.
they're not. Like obviously
It
the
should
parents
be-
aren't
yeah.
doing
It
it.
should be on the parents and the people who sell it.
Yeah.
But does that like obviously the parents aren't doing their job right? Because there's obviously this didn't just come about. They weren't like all our children are doing well and they're not playing games that are over 18. They were talking about Tetris the other day.
Yes.
And like the
Cheerio.
article by BBC specifically
They're all
cited.
trying to find the most hardcore games possible on the planet.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
teenagers do. They want to find the most hardcore, weird, scary.
Yeah.
So to
It's-
bring it back to my
yeah.
point, putting aside the discrimination of games,
Yeah.
is this an okay thing? Pretend that it is all encompassing.
I'm half and half because I guess that at my view at the moment on parents and video games, and of course I'm not a mother.
Yeah, we should
don't
say
have
that none of us
kids,
have children, as far as I know,
Oh
at
no,
least.
no.
So I
Not
guess
as far as I know.
I guess I really don't have a reason to have an opinion, but I think a lot of the time parents just shove kids in front of consoles and computers and say, here, do this, they're so busy.
Yeah.
So
And-
then
and
you would
that's-
say this is a good measure?
This is a good measure because a lot of parents don't take responsibility for the games their children are playing.
Well, a lot of
And
parents don't know. Like, a lot of parents are just so far out of the loop with that stuff, they still think gaming's something that 12-year-olds do in the basement.
Yeah.
What 15-year-old is gonna come to like his mom and show like, hey, this is the GTA 5 game that I'm
Yeah.
playing. where
Look at
I'm
this, I can kill a
killing
prostitute after
hookers."
like,
It's just
But and what is it? It's like a Call of Duty where you find all the little 13-year-olds get on with daddy's credit card and soup up
Oh,
all their
God,
all
yes.
their all
yeah.
their
Don't get me
stats
started
and
on
go
that one.
around and you know raging on everyone, and it's just there's no responsibility. No one is taking responsibility.
Kitty rage.
yeah, and that, well,
About
that's another
time.
thing. We haven't even touched on the fact that GTA and Call of Duty, at least, have online components where those kids are then exposed to God knows what.
Yeah,
And, like,
Yeah.
exactly.
Those
But the online components are made for 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the legal whatever.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be restricted in any sort of way. Like
But then
You
should
know,
it be a broad spectrum
It-
kind of?
well, that's the thing,
instead
is
of
I
just being
think it
this
should be a broad
focused thing
spectrum.
They've done
Teachers,
industry wide, like parents, policy,
Yeah.
government, the whole lot.
Yeah.
They all be involved to
Well,
create
that's the thing, isn't it?
Sort of
Aren't
thing.
teachers meant to have a duty of care over the kids?
That's
Like-
written into their job description,
Yeah.
basically.
So they
Yeah.
they shouldn't have had to send out this report. They should have just been doing it from day
Because-
one.
because
they
for
should.
them their focus was solely teach them 10 pages a day and then we're done. Go
Yeah.
home. That was
I mean,
it.
I mean,
yeah. Government,
teachers-
family, parents, teachers, everyone in the community should have a responsibility
There are
of some form to.
there are like parents who
out.
do take the time to spend time with their kids. We're not saying there aren't, just to be clear.
Oh yeah, no, that's just
There are
generalising,
lots of
yeah.
parents who actually put in the
Some
time
can't,
with their
yeah,
kids.
Yeah.
But obviously there's also more of them that just don't care about the kids. I mean,
Well,
not that don't care, just don't have the time to sit with them or
the
be
focus.
responsible with them.
Well, the
Yeah,
one other
focus,
thing
yeah.
that this article mentioned is that a lot of the kids were talking about stuff they saw with their parents playing the games.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So they were
Well-
talking about how their dad was playing Call of Duty and did the torture scene
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
And he's swearing
See,
at some
that's
guy.
where
blah, blah.
like parents should have like at least a minuscule sense of responsibility
Yeah.
for their kid, because you're not gonna put on a gory movie and grab your like 5-year-old and be like, hey, look at that saw is gonna cut through that person's head. No.
Oh.
Why do you do that with games?
I've actually seen that done before.
Yeah, I was
Oh
in a
my God.
room when my friends put on District 9 and there was a 7-year-old girl, like their 7-year-old daughter in the room. And like District 9's
Yeah.
not super gory, but it's not child friendly.
Yeah, see-
if
see,
I was a
that's
kid,
not
I
like-
would be scared shitless of that movie.
That's-
Because it's done up as a
Going to
documentary and
Stepford
everything.
Kids as a kid.
What?
Like, the Stepford Kids.
I haven't
Stepford
seen it.
children, where they all turn
oh my
into
God.
robots.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
me as a kid, let alone watching something like District 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
you don't want your parents to like. So that tells me that's a shocking amount of irresponsible parents in I would just say in the world. If there is not, just,
I'm
Dodge
just
that
gonna
bullet
mute myself 'cause, yeah.
yeah, because that is just nuts for me to think. Like I don't know the Call of Duty torture scene. I don't know how bad it is. I was cringing in the GTA 5 torture scene. I
The
was
Call of Duty ones are like they torture a guy by gassing him and asking for information and go, "Oh, if you want, tell us, or we'll give you the gas mask." Basically,
Okay.
so it's a
But
cr-
GTA
war
1 was
sort of thing.
worse, right? Like with the whole you had
Yeah.
like So if you're doing that in front of a kid, you have some serious issues.
Okay.
That I don't
Very,
even
very
the
true.
law
I mean,
can fix.
there's so much more out there. Hitman, all sorts of
Yeah,
so
I mean,
many games. Like
there's so many
Conan the
games.
Barbarian. There's tons
Yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff where you can torture, kill, maim, decapitate people, and it's like
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've
these are the
picked
ones with the flavour.
they've picked the
yeah.
3 ones that are most prominent because of sales
Yeah.
numbers and
Well,
press
GTA
around them.
5 is like the fault of everything. Like if something's wrong with the world, GTA 5 falls into like that niche of
well
gamer
that's
issues.
because that's what they sell the game based on. Like
Yeah,
There-
and
There were some
they thrive
Commodore
on it.
64 games that were like way sicker than half the stuff out here.
Yeah.
Trust me. And people didn't have a major issue with that because it was kids in the basement doing their own thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
guys,
parents
so-
doing that is
It-
kind of crazy.
If you've got a thought, leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm going to cut that short because we're running very over time.
That's a huge topic.
Yeah, it is. That's why I wanted to leave it till last. So please leave thoughts and stuff in the comments below so that we can ignore it or tell you you're wrong, whatever.
Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that you'll keep it may prosper, but the wolf that you'll break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Look, guided by the...
One thing we like to do at Shoddy Pixels is support indie artists, and Cat Hall from cutthroatvisual.com is one of them. And Ronan, you've seen her art, right? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty fantastic. I mean, if you get the chance, you got to check it out at cutthroatvisuals.com. It is fantastic work. I mean, she is a great artist. And actually, coming up, April 18th, 19th at OzComic-Con, if you're in the Adelaide area in Australia, hopefully we'll be supporting it there, like having some of her work that you can come and purchase. So check it out.
That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah. So cutthroatvisual.com, go check it out. Cat Hall. Remember the name.
The vexed they awoken, I need the ogre's broken. I'll get the cabal, kicking the balls, the fall and the fall once more, falls all on the floor, got a goblin hobbling. So the Fogoths say, oh gosh, they won't want to step out of line. And so help me, I will go out my mind. I'm a mastermind, attack the hive, black the eye of an acolyte. That's smarts. You don't have to fight to have smarts, but you gotta have that to fight.
Hey guys, welcome back. That was some more of Danbull's song Destiny, as well as a lovely spoken piece by Govind and Mike there.
Yes.
Next up, we've got
It was
Govind, who's going to
really
cover
awesome.
some of the upcoming releases for the next fortnight. And from what I understand, it's a bit of a quiet fortnight.
Hey, it is. It's quite. It's. I kind of feel like I'm doing the weather when you do that, but it's a very quiet weather.
Well, I mean, you can stand in front of a green screen with a stick if you really
Yes,
need to.
just imagine. I do have a green. No, I don't. I was gonna say
green stick.
but that wouldn't make sense.
That's what I thought. Try face freak.
Yes. Okay, so Dark Souls DLC is coming out. Scholar of
Wait,
the
what?
First Sin. Yeah.
Really?
Dark Souls 2. Sorry. Right.
Why?
Dark Souls 2. They're kind of merged.
But they released Bloodborne. Why do they want people to play their old game?
Because no one's playing.
Wait, are you just
Bloodborne.
saying that
God.
Bloodborne is a Dark Souls DLC? Is that the joke?
No, this is a different one.
Bloodborne
Scholar
is a
of
reskinned
the First Sin.
Oh,
Oh, it is. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But it's coming across of all systems, and it's coming out on 7th of April. And then you have another game coming out, which is I'm pretty excited about. We actually covered this game on an indie focus piece called way back. The game's called Dead Synchronicity. Tomorrow Comes Today.
Yeah.
And it's a point and click. It's got a very quirky art style to it, and it's kind of a dark story, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm pretty sure that it has like a non-linear story about it, so I'm really excited about that. So that's coming out on 10th April. Then you've got Mortal Kombat 10.
That's gonna be cool. Predator.
Yes, it's coming out across all platforms on
Did-
the 14th of April.
One of
except
the
for dirty Aussies like you guys get it on the 15th.
One of the news items I was going to talk about is in that game they've introduced easy fatalities, which
thank
just
God. That'd be
seems
awesome.
so backwards and stupid.
Press one
But it's
button,
awesome.
fatality.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Doesn't that miss the whole point of Mortal
That's
Kombat?
what I feel like. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, not trying
Yeah,
to
but-
derail the segment.
Yeah, it's kind of happened with the whole green stick thing. Moving on, we have
Kids these
GTA
days are stupid.
5.
They can only press one or two buttons.
Oh,
We have
now.
GTA 5 coming up. Shut up! GTA 5 coming up on PC. On
But
13th
is it
as well.
actually?
Yeah, what?
Is it going to get delayed again?
No, it's supposed to come out because Steam's going out with the whole last chance to pre-order, and this is obviously
For
US.
now.
Yeah, US date, PC 1404. The thing is, Rockstar has kind of lost me with their PC games lately because Max
Yeah.
Payne was like terrible experience altogether,
Mm.
and
Which one?
even
3?
LA Noire was, Max Payne 3, yeah. LA Noire was kind of crappy PC because the whole
talk to Rachel
Rockstar
about that
Social
one.
Club thing.
Really? I liked it on I played it on PC, I liked it, but...
I
Well,
even
I had a
mind
lot of
it.
errors with it. It had a lot
Okay.
of game-breaking bugs for me.
Oh,
And
you're running an
those-
AMD card again. That's your problem.
Shut up. And for me,
Just admits defeat
that-
straight away.
the thing that I hate the most about Rockstar games on PC is having to use the social club, and that's like the worst kind of. That software is just borderline malware as far as I'm concerned. So.
Who uses such
Yeah.
a club? Like, serious?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Even Sony gave up. Home got shut down the other day.
For good reason.
Well, thank God, because the moment you go to PS Store and you accidentally click PlayStation Home, it's like the most horrifying thing ever. So the fact that that got shut down, very good. But that's the release roundup, as convoluted as it could be. So you might want to listen to it like 5 times to get a hold on, or check the article, which will be there by the
Yeah.
time this goes up.
Which
So
will have
that's fine.
more detail in it, I imagine. I imagine there are
Yeah,
more
I
than
say
4
do
things
both.
coming out.
They both.
more games. I just picked a random number out of it.
And likewise, the news items we spoke about, guys, if you want a bit more information on them, check out the website. Our news correspondent from Decrypt Gaming will have an article up on the
Andrew.
website.
Yes.
Yeah, so keep an eye on the site as well for more content to
Yeah.
enhance your oral experience.
Oh my. What did
Or
you say?
visual
Oral?
pleasure.
Oral, A-U-R-A-L. Get a dictionary, Gavind.
What? I was like, oh man, you got the wrong site.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe that's what they're after. Jeez,
Yes.
cater to demand,
Even
Gavind.
more chaos. That always helps.
So, moving on, we've got the top
And then total
5.
silence.
We've got the top 5 segment. Who hasn't gone? Rachel, you haven't gone first in one of these, so give us your top 5.
No.
The
My
topic
top 5.
topic this week is top 5 games from our childhood.
Yes.
I decided to conform this week and do from 5 to 1. Instead
Ooh,
of just
see,
random.
we all went from 1 to 5 this week.
No, you
Conform
were-
My God.
I didn't. I'm joking.
So, I had to do a little bit of research because there was a couple of games I could actually not remember the name of. But number
Oh,
5
yeah.
on the list of games from my childhood, Alex the Kid.
Yep, nice. That
When-
only just missed out on my top 5.
Yeah, that was a game I have not finished. One of the most annoying things, but I would sit for hours playing and playing.
Because it was included with the console.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so good.
Inbuilt to the
Yeah.
Sega Master System, and
Yep.
the most annoying yet addictive thing on the planet.
See, the only thing I thought was annoying was the fact that your boss battles were based on rock scissors paper, which just meant like you could spend hours and hours playing and then just lose, just because of a random dice roll.
You could win instantly, at the same time you could just lose, and like non-stop lose for the next hour.
Nice.
But that's number
Sounds
5.
like Deadcore. Yeah.
Number 4.
Well, it was a
Very much.
platformer.
Number 4 is Sonic, because I had the Sega Master
Right.
System. Yes, Master System. So yeah, Sonic. I played a lot of Sonic as a kid. Love Sonic.
Now you
number
actually had the Sega Master System 2 in Australia.
Yes, that one. Yes. I don't know. I just went from Commodore 64 to Sega to then Super NES.
Yep.
As far as my consoles go. Number 3. Now I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. It's called the Sacred Armor of Antiriad.
Anti-Riyadh.
Antiriad.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, a platformer game where you're basically running around in the nud. And then you put on a metal suit, and then you can shoot stuff with all these aliens and goblins and things.
So,
and,
so it's
yeah.
Rust.
Basically.
Metal suits.
Ancient Rust.
Ancient Rust.
I can't wait.
I've been wanting to
That's my
figure
next
out the
game
name
title.
of this game
Ancient
forever.
Rust.
It used to drive me nuts. Shut up, Brandon. It used to drive me nuts. And I finally found it tonight, so I'm gonna hopefully try and see if I can find a copy of it so I can play it again. Cause
Nice.
I never finished that one either.
You have to find a ported version because
You get an
Yeah, I know.
emulator, that dirty word.
Yeah.
Yes.
there's
Dirty
worse
word.
hen's teeth, so to speak.
Now, number 2 is Donkey Kong Country.
Yes.
Alright.
My favourite game of the Super NES. I used to
Yeah.
play it for hours and hours and hours. And number
And the
1,
best of the series.
Yeah.
Number one game of my childhood was The Simpsons versus the Space Mutant.
I've never heard of that.
You haven't? Oh my god. I used to hire it every weekend from the video store and just play it.
I remember
non-stop all
hiring
weekend.
games. That was funny.
Back in the day.
I hated it when... You remember there was like a little period where save games were on the cartridge?
Yes.
And then you hired it, and then if you didn't finish it, you were just fucked.
Yeah.
Someone else got your save game.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So,
Fucking
Ronan, up next. Come on.
B.
Yep, you.
Not sure I've actually put them in 1 to 5.
That's
but yeah,
okay.
we'll go with that. We're going old school because I'm a bit of a fossil these days compared to most gamers. Commodore 64s.
Yep.
You probably know what they are. Some of them had cassette players, and some of them had floppy disk drives. Alright? But these are all cassette.
Yeah.
Actual
Yeah,
cassettes
all-
you put into a thing, you press
all
play, you had to
retro.
type, you know,
Yes,
quotations
get on.
load. Yeah, alright, anyway. A really old game from 1985. The Commando from Capcom.
Nice.
Beautiful soundtrack from Ron Hubbard. It's a top-down sort of arty type game. It's an arcade that I spent, a lot of time on.
Yep.
It's kind of, inspired by Arnie, the cold Commando thing, but,
Oh,
not
nice.
quite. Then there's a game called Rampage.
Yes,
from
Rampage is awesome.
Activision, 1986.
Everyone should know that one. That's been remade so many times in the last few years.
The
Yeah?
soundtrack, soundtrack is so bad, but it's been remade a lot, ported to everything on the planet.
There was
it's a-
one good remake as well.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I suppose.
There was a lot of bad ones.
It's hard to choose
I
between
think
them all.
that's one of those games that's been on every platform since the dawn of time, though, now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to destroy buildings as, like, King
Godzilla,
Kong, Godzilla,
King Kong,
and Werewolf.
Or that other guy.
They were called, like, George, Lizzie, and Ralph.
Yeah.
But you got to beat up buildings. You could grab people out of the buildings, eat them for health, or like
That's
take down
nice.
choppers.
I had sick
hit trolley
multiplayer,
cars.
too.
Yeah, you had like I think it was a 3-player
Yeah.
cooperative in arcade, but on the consoles or Commodore, the PCs, it was 2-player co-op, I think.
Yeah.
And then an AI.
Yeah, limitation control.
Yeah. Depending, like, and then you land linked up, whatever. I don't know.
Back when hardware
Yeah.
limitations meant not 64 or 32
You
players,
have
but
one
2 or 3.
screen, one person plays. There was no online besides Oxford. But anyway. Yeah, let's not go there. And then there was The Last Ninja 2. I mean, if you ever look up Commodore 64 games, it's probably one of the quintessential games.
Yeah.
Made by System 3, which I think later became... who are they? Studio 3 Interactive. I think. I don't know. Can't quite remember.
Post in the comments.
But yeah, post in the comments. A great sort of 80s synthesizer sound, which I guess wasn't really that great. But it's an action adventure kind of isometric game like Michael was talking about earlier, where you're sort of, camera set back. But the problem is every time you move throughout one door to another, you went into another screen.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, it was, the bee's knees besides, I guess, Beverly Hills Cop back in those days.
Nice. So is that all 5?
No, Ghostbusters.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, it came in like cartridge form, cassette, floppy disk.
It got
Look out,
around.
kids.
Kids.
But that's an
Damn
Activision
them
game of
kids.
all things, back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
84, I think it was. Amazing soundtrack, and everyone that likes Ghostbusters or a fan of Ghostbusters loves the soundtrack. Yeah. And the beauty of it was, when you load it up, there was like a karaoke loading screen.
Oh, nice.
So there was a little bouncing ball, and you could
We
sing along
gotta
to the
go.
words.
Man, load screens used to be so much better.
It was. I mean, and this is one of the only games that got the concept right, like that had they had loadout screens, where you could change your, armor,
Yeah.
yeah,
mhm.
the vehicle and stuff back in '84, and a lot of games these days can't even get that right.
Oh,
But hey,
God.
precise game mechanics, iconic sort of simple design.
Yeah.
But for the last
Really-
one, let's go too long. Flimbo's Quest.
I have never heard of that.
Never,
Well,
yeah.
Some of you gamers out there who are really into the old school stuff. Flimbo's Quest was one of the most fantastic games, also by System 3, now Studio Interactive 3, whatever it is.
So wait, is that Limbo or Flimbo?
Flimbo, yeah. Flimbo.
Oh, okay. Flimbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of places mispronounced it. The translation went weird, and they call it Flimbos or Fulos or whatever it is. And actual in stores, it came out as that.
Okay.
Which was
Oh,
kinda
okay.
weird.
That's like a nice snippet of video game history.
Yeah, old school. But that was 1990, I think it was.
Okay.
Oh.
And it's a
Okay.
side-scrolling, 2D platform sort of game where a mad scientist, Franz Dandruff, kidnaps girlfriend Pearly, beautiful queen of Dewdrop Land. And Flimbo, the boyfriend, gets a little bit pissed off with this. So he sets off on an adventure to try and rescue her before, scientist Franz Dandruff steals all of her energy to make him young again.
So does he have a brother called Fluigi?
That would get close to the UK law of being a bit awkward.
Wait, so what drugs were these developers on when they made that game? Like,
The
seriously?
good stuff.
The extremely good stuff.
Dandruff.
Stuff you don't get anymore.
Gavin, what did you have
Expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
as the youngest of us here?
Yeah, actually, my games aren't that recent either because I did grow up in India and computers came really late there, especially personal computers. So my game I'm going
Damn
from fifth
colonials.
to first, obviously. So fifth one is House of the Dead. It's an arcade game.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
Yes, you had like guns, and I
I
got
love
to
that game.
shoot.
Have you seen the
freaking
movie?
dead things. No.
It is
Yeah,
one of the
I
most
didn't-
appallingly bad, hilarious horrors ever.
I am definitely gonna watch that because that was my
Good
game
bet.
to go. Like whenever we went to the arcade, I would like run towards this thing, grab the gun, spend a lot of money on it.
Wait,
You have the
Probably.
little
so wait,
curtain and everything
number
as well?
5 on your top childhood games is one of the worst voice acted games in history.
yes.
I don't even remember the voice acting in that
is
point.
one of the-
That's the thing.
It is
'Cause
one
for
of the
me-
best, light, orientated fire games on the planet.
Yeah.
For me, it was like the arcade experience was just too much. It's so awesome.
Nice.
But number 4 is I don't know if you guys. It was pretty popular in India. It's called Battle City. It's basically World of Tanks. What it was
Okay.
really 2D. You have 2 tanks. You
No.
can join. Like it's 2-player max. So you have person coming.
Some more like
on
room of
the
tanks.
Yeah.
A room of
With no
tanks.
more room. It's like hardware, hardware limitations, only 2 tanks. But you have to work around this maze and you can use it to
Oh,
explode
it's like
the
Arctic
maze.
Fox back in
Yeah, I
the
think I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one was
Like
tanks
Tron
though.
graphics. No?
It was pixelated graphics and all
Yeah.
that, but I didn't even know the name because we used to call it tanks all the time. So I had to Google that up and
They're just
find
tanks
the
attack each other.
Yeah, it was
Go
just
for it.
tanks attacking each other, and you had to like it was kind of capture the flag as well, so you had to like get to
Awesome.
the other person's
Yep.
base. 3 is kind of a surprising game, probably because it's Earthworm Jim.
Nice. That
Because
game's
that
sick.
guy was awesome.
Oh my god! I forgot about that game.
Yeah, I'm remembering so many games. I want to rewrite my list right now.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim is for me like the fact that he threw his head out and like grabs the thing and then swings around. That is just like, and this is coming from someone who doesn't like worms or anything, but Earthworm Jim, he was like the Rimmer of
Yeah.
gaming world.
Yeah.
So he
Have
was
you
just-
ever seen any of the videos or cartoons, animated series?
Of Earthworm Jim? No.
Oh,
really,
you
no,
gotta
just the
look them
game.
up. If you're a fan of the
Yeah.
game, you gotta look those up. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
definitely will. Okay, so and number 2 for me is a game you guys probably never played. It was a WWF game, but it came out for N64, and it's called WWF No Mercy. But
All right, I'm just gonna go take a break.
Tuesday-
Man.
I have played that, but all I remember is hitting people with chairs and then moving
yeah,
on.
but Tuesday,
No mercy.
and including the game that came out, which is WWE 2K15, including that to date, the best WWF game ever. And that
That's
puts
not
all
really
the others
saying
into
a lot, though.
perspective.
Yeah,
Yes,
it doesn't say much at all.
But I loved it because it had an awesome career thing, and I'm still a huge fan of wrestling because chairs, ladders, tables. What's not to love?
Anyway, moving on before Mike has an aneurysm.
And number 1 for me is not a surprise. Super Mario Brothers. That music.
Oh, that is a surprise. A platformer is your favorite.
Ooh,
Yeah,
hello.
but Mario. I mean,
Oh, so much jumping. My
Yeah,
God.
what the hell?
jumping too. I didn't say I was good at it. I
Okay,
said it's just
fair
number
point.
1. Because yeah. Just
Well, you
that
can't
music.
deny the impact it's had anyway.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. That's my number 1, so that's my list.
Okay, so
yeah.
I
Actually,
am
that's
going
a
to
good
resist
list,
the
good
urge
list.
to rewrite my list
Thank
on
you.
the fly, as much as I want to. Number 5 is a game called Ghost House for Sega Master System 2.
Oh my God.
You remember it?
Yes.
That game was hard as hell. It was so good though. You didn't like it?
I wouldn't say it was hard. I was saying annoying.
The vampires were hard. So
I'll
this
go
was
with
like
annoying,
a 2D
but
side
yeah.
scroller, and like it was back when platformers were like brutal and they did things like have holes in the ground that were meant to be there but you couldn't see them and things like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
walking along and walking through this thing, you'd see like a zombie or a skeleton up ahead of you, and you like grab your tiny little knife and you go on to stab it, and you'd fall through the ground into the basement where this vampire would just insta kill you. And
It was
shit
some
like that.
sadistic programmers who just went, this should
Yeah.
be fun.
So
It's kind of like Dead Core back in the day of Sega Master System 2.
I guess.
Speaking of games like that, number 4 is Prince of Persia from DOS or Commodore 64, with that old school purple and black one.
That was
Okay,
on
I
my
was a
list.
fan.
That was the one I had to drop down. Yeah, that was awesome.
I
I
was a fan back then.
have still never finished that game because I just get pissed off. But that like I can remember my auntie before I had a computer. My auntie had a computer and it was like some really old piece of shit that only had DOS on it, and
Yeah,
she
but
had
she
like
that shit, and you still never finished it.
she had like 3 games on there that she didn't even know about because they were just installed by someone. And Prince of Persia was one of them, and I used to go there and like I'd spend my entire time. I used to sleep over there. Like I'd get there, be like, "Hi, Arnie," go to the computer, fire up the computer, play like these other
Arnie.
games, and then when I was ready, when I was warmed up, I'd try Prince of Persia. But I was a young kid, I had no fucking hope of passing it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You
But
gotta
that
replay
ending
that.
of the
You gotta
Yeah,
replay
no, I've been meaning to replay it. It's on the pile of
that
shame.
ending where you jump, like the first level itself, the ending where you jump into the ship, right? You run over and you jump and you try to grab into the ship. That's the same thing?
I
Right?
don't think there was any ships in it. I think you might be thinking of like more recent Prince of Persia.
No.
You're thinking of more like console versions of stuff.
Yeah, this is like old.
This
like
is-
No, this
you
is
were in a
Prince of
dungeon for the
Persia.
entire game. And you had 2 hours to get out.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't get out in the
yeah,
2
then
hours, the
no,
game
maybe
ended.
That, then, yeah. But for me, when the one I played, from what I remember, it was just called Prince of Persia. It wasn't like an
Yeah, they
installment or something.
rebooted them back in like
there are
PS2.
so many versions of Prince Persia.
Yeah, and you had to
It's
jump and grab
ridiculous.
onto the ship's end, and to a point, I thought that was the end of the game because I kept falling and dying. Because I never got to the jumping was never my thing.
No, I think the really brutal thing about this one was the time limit. It had a real world time limit, and if you didn't finish in that time limit, the game ended. Like
Oh wow.
so, and it was only like 2 hours or something like that.
Okay, I don't remember that.
It was in the DOS version. I don't know about the Commodore 64 version, but
Yeah.
See, I think we all played different versions of different games.
yeah.
It's just have Prince of Persia written on it.
So anyway, number 3 was Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Master System 2.
Oh,
That's still the best version of Sonic.
The
Tails
amount
can
of
fuck
hours
off.
I've plugged into that.
The amount of times I played that game and left it paused the entire day while I was at school because I didn't want to have to start over because of no save games.
Exactly.
It was nuts.
I've done the same thing. Like, just you leave like 12 hours later or something. You come back and it's still on.
Or your
Man,
mum
don't
has
touch
fucking turned off the console.
Oh, yeah, I've come across that before.
Number 2 is the most recent one on the list, and it kind of just marks when I went, hey, games are really cool because of the big jump. Abe's Odyssey.
Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
When I played that, I was like,
series.
holy shit.
Oh my god.
Games aren't just these little things that, you know, are fun for an hour or two. Like, that was... That
That was
game.
epic.
Yeah. And then number 1 I had to put down as the game that's had the biggest impact on me was Quake. It's the game that's got me into game development, and
Oh, true. Yeah.
like it's just made a huge difference in my life. So
It blew your
Awesome.
world.
That's a good list. See, there was a pretty good list there.
Yeah, it's
Good.
not a bad
lot of
list.
games.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so now the moment we've all been waiting for. Gavin, how did your Dead Core challenge go?
Son of a bitch!
It's like
So, so I think we've all three of us have watched Gavin's warm up where he played the first
Yes.
level in Dead Core.
And hopefully
yeah.
watching has.
Now,
Pause
to
now.
his credit, it's not easy. Like, I've played the game. It didn't take me half an hour to finish the first level. But it's not... It still is... Like, it's a head fuck. Even
I
just
mean,
getting your head around that first level, it looks a lot
Yeah.
easier than it actually is as well.
It
That's the other
is.
thing.
I've actually watched
Insane.
Michael's, playing videos before, like Let's Play. And I'm like, oh dear God. And then when I saw the challenge and like Gavin had to do it, I'm like, oh my God.
well, that's the thing, because I went from the first level, which it took me about 29 minutes to get through. That was the tutorial.
Yeah, I know.
And, like, you are
And-
broken by the end of it. Your voice has gone from happy and chirpy.
I was done. I was like, oh
I think
my
you
God.
got broke about the 25-minute mark or something.
Yeah, and then I almost like gave up right there.
There was just so many points where you just fell off the
don't do
level for
good.
no
I
reason.
think that was when I was like, yeah, he's broken.
Yeah, and I should have just given up then and saved a lot of, time
No
and
giving up. Yeah.
distress, but I didn't. So Michael sent me his like final level save game, so I checked it out, and you'll see the video of this happening, like the start, and there's this wall with like 8 cubes or something with lights on it, and you're supposed to shoot one of them. And I shoot, and they start moving. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go and jump on top of these before it reaches. So I go and jump, and the whole world like, moves from underneath me, and I fall, and I luckily land on the pad thing. But
See, the
And
thing
then
is,
I
you're not
just
actually
go-
meant to jump on them. You're meant to shoot
Yeah.
them and let them move.
yeah, and then I go, what?
Who says you can't? Just do it anyway.
What? And I just that game fucks with you so many ways, because it gives you no gravity unless when you're falling to death. There's no gravity. There's no grip whatsoever.
Yeah, you're just
Like-
slide around like you're on ice, sort of thing.
Yeah, but if you fall, then there's like a lot of gravity that's killing you instantly.
Yeah, then it takes you 10 minutes to fall, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I realized I could hit R after that thanks to Michael. No. So I'm
Yeah, so when you're dying, you can just hit R and it automatically puts you back at the checkpoint.
Yeah.
And then in the
It's a 50
tutorial
hours
level,
that
he
Michael's
spent
put
like
into it, yeah.
5 to 6 minutes of the half hour just falling.
Yeah, and the game has zero direction ever.
I don't think that's true, but
It is true because there's
I
a point where it
disagree.
like forks into like 2 ways, and it's like, am I supposed to do this or am I like done? Because I thought the level was finished because I finished one really hard bit that Michael was pissed off about. And like I remember he whinged about it like nonstop for like 2 days. He stopped playing it because of it, and then restarted. So I get to that
that's like
point-
the best thing about this game is if you jump on YouTube and you look at other people's videos, everyone gets stuck at different points.
I know, but it's great to actually, like, you look at them and go, my God, look left,
Yeah.
look left. And you're like, oh my God. But you kind of feel at the same time when they jump off, and you're like, no, you almost made it double jump.
and I got to this point.
So you're
where,
dying with them. Yeah. it's
Yeah, and I finished that part, so I was like, okay, the level's over. I did it. I won the challenge. And I come back, because every time, Dead Core, you finish a section, you have to go back. So I get back, and this place changes into like 2 paths I can take. So I'm like, maybe I should go left, because, maybe there's like the finish line. So I go left, and it pops up and tells me almost done or something, like finish soon or something.
Well, I mean, you have to
Yeah.
understand that in the overall arc of the entire game, that last level, like, when you hit that last level, you're like, yes, I'm 4/5 through in terms of levels.
Yeah, because that finish coming soon pop-up happened at hour 2, and I played that game for 5 hours. I swear to God.
And even then,
Non-stop.
we don't yet know how far he got through because...
Yeah, because when you do an episode-wise thing, there are a couple of big episodes in that thing, which 1 hour episode, in fact. But I was trying to make it 30-minute episodes, so I stopped recording. I go to Skype to, like, bitch at Michael because it's, like, the stupidest, hardest game ever. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. And I show him a screenshot, and I'm like, am I supposed to go up or down or left or right? I have no idea. And then he said, yeah, you just always go up. And I'm like, okay, I don't see a way, but... And then I figure it out. And then I shoot something, and I see it work, and I'm like, okay, let's record. Hit record. The game crashes. 5 hours in.
So
The
at
game
the
crashes.
5-ish hour mark, Govind unfortunately had to admit defeat.
Forfeit. Because the game does not give you checkpoints if you finish the game, like the story. So Michael
Yeah.
gave me his save file, so I couldn't restart from the checkpoint. I had to restart from 0 hour.
Yeah, what I was
And
saying to
that
Govind is, from what I remember, if you're playing the story for the
Yes.
first time, it lets
You'll save
you
at checkpoints.
continue from where you were last time. But because you're replaying a level,
So those green
It doesn't.
circular checkpoints.
yeah,
Yeah, it
It
helps you
stays as that?
respawn if you die.
yeah.
But
But if you're
if
just
the game's
replaying the
closed-
level outside of playing the story for the first time,
All
that
the way
doesn't
back to the
happen.
start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
All the way
cruel.
back. And that's when I just like, throw in the towel. I wasn't gonna, I was not gonna spend another 5 hours on that game ever. Like I quit out. I deleted the game.
Are we
and, like,
M15 plus or whatever here on this podcast?
Yeah, you can say what you want.
Right.
Yeah. I like how you qualified it.
Fuck
It
that
was.
shit.
Yeah, it was insane. So it was
If you
one
guys
of the
give me any
toughest.
like Dead Core, Portal
No.
2 or whatever fucking jumping game bullshit as a challenge,
Oh no, Mike.
will
This
track
is
you
the
down and kill
Portal
you.
2 is like baby's first platformer by
yeah, I
comparison.
know, but Dead Core, I mean, I've watched your series as well, and I'm like, fucking, oh my god, if you give me one of those challenges, I will
Here's the
hunt you
thing,
down
though.
and hurt you with a spoon.
Here's the
This
thing
is
though.
the
This is
thing,
a
this
game
is
that
the
Govind
kicker.
would never have played,
That's
and
the
I don't know
thing,
whether
I
he's going to
mentioned
admit it
this-
here, but he's admitted that it was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit it here
It
too.
is fun to the point of where you accidentally, fall off and you do it again and again, and you're like, oh, the
Yeah,
frustration
and
builds,
the
and I want to
funny
hurt
thing
people.
is, like, I wouldn't have played this game if it wasn't for the challenge. Like, I wouldn't even install it ever, even though it was
Yeah.
free
I
from the
wouldn't
fanshare
have
stuff.
either.
And I actually enjoyed most of it. Like, the part he got stuck in, I got stuck in for a bit, but I enjoyed that difficulty because it was, like, intense, hard, it was, like, fast. And then it got to just jump and jump and jump, and then I got really annoyed, and you can really you can feel my voice changing, like, with...
Yeah.
And
like
and
episode
like the other
7.
thing to take into account is that he went straight from level 1 to level 5,
The level
and the
5,
game
yeah.
does a
Yeah.
really good job of introducing puzzles logically. So like first level's like just jumping for the most part.
Well, that's what I say. I've watched your let's play sort of thing of it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I enjoy it, but I enjoy watching it because it's the kind of game that would piss me off intensely. And I'm so glad that Gavin got it instead of me.
Yeah, it was...
Because
I
any
swear
of
to
that
God,
sort
if-
of Portal or Dead Core, I'm just like, oh god, That's my worst nightmare.
What I have planned is not Portal or Dead Core. You can.
So, well, before you go into that, is there any closing comments on the Dead Core challenge, Govind?
It was insanely tough, and it just proved to me that I've actually grown as a gamer, because if I was the 15-year-old self, my computer would be in pieces. My keyboard would be in pieces, because this is something like, I respect the guys who play Dead Core, but if you are a compulsive gamer, and if you're like the kind of gamer that'll sink in hour after hour, or in my case 5 hours, just so you can beat the game, do not play Dead Core.
You know
Please don't. Do yourself a favor.
You know what I found out yesterday?
No, the whole game is a hardcore mode.
Do you know what I found out yesterday?
What?
There's a secret ending that you need to get all the collectibles for. So guess what I've got on my checklist to do?
So, while Michael does that...
So, before you go in, I'll just explain, we're gonna do a couple of changes here.
Yes.
In light of the fact that Gavin spent 5 hours and probably would have spent close to 7 or something, depending on how far through he was.
I went all night because the game gets harder the more you stay in. Not because the game gets harder, because you're mentally exhausted. And,
so in light of that, we've decided to rope in the challenge a little bit. So we're gonna put a limit. I think, did we decide 2 hours? Is that still too long?
2 hours is fine. Yeah.
So
I think I would say for my challenge, you guys would probably only need like 30 minutes or something.
Okay. So what we're gonna do
2 hours would give you like 8 tries, I would say.
We're gonna limit the challenge to 2 hours.
Try limit.
So whenever we're doing it, we have 2 hours. That's from start to finish. So no warm up or no practice or anything. We fire up the game. If we've never played it and it's our first time, that's when the 2 hours start. And we've got 2 hours of real world time to complete the challenge.
Yep.
If at 1 minute 59 and 59 seconds we still haven't beat it, we have 1 second to finish. If you are 3 meters in world from finishing the challenge and it clocks over to 2:01, too bad. We're also going to change it up and have everyone do it. So this week, because Gavin went through that one, he's going to issue the challenge to all 3 of us.
Yes.
So that means hopefully we'll have 3 very humorous videos across the various channels for you guys. Is there any other rules? Everyone has to have the game still, or have access to the game.
Yeah, have access to the game at least. Yeah.
I feel like there was one other point that we needed to cover, but maybe not. And we're just going to take it in turns of issuing, so the person that issues doesn't have to worry about the challenge.
Yeah, so I don't have to do this, thank God.
So, Gavin, what's your challenge?
Yeah.
I've been panicking about this all day.
I've been torn because I have 2 awesome challenges. And
well, you can only give us one.
Yeah, I know. And one would piss a lot of people off, but the other, I believe, would be more entertaining to watch. So I'm gonna go with the entertaining one, which I'm pretty sure you guys will survive. Anyone here like Dying Light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike's not too fond of
sorry.
So
when you have Dying Light, everyone has access to it. I know Ronan does. I know Mike does.
Yep.
And Dying Light has a hard mode, which is actually hard. So what the challenge is very simple. You have to survive one night, an entire night, outside, not going into save zones.
That's not hard.
And Dying Light hard mode, and you can't stay in one place for more than 10 seconds.
So you gotta be on the
move. I can't even survive in the freaking...
Well, Rach, you've got 2 hours of trying.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the...
It's only a 7-minute night, I believe.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes.
Is it okay if I go up into the tower and sit there for 7 minutes?
No, you can't stay in the same pace for 10 seconds. What constitutes same space? Is it same building, same, like, couple of meters, what?
Well, the same place as in, like, the same rooftop, I would say.
Okay.
If it's like a big-ass rooftop, then it's...
I can walk into the tower and just go between level and level and level, like, for 10, 20 minutes, however long you want.
No, you can't enter save zones.
Ah, okay.
And next question, does this have to be a new character? Because I have a grappling hook.
No, this has to be no. This has to be the character that
Brand new characters.
It has
Say
to be a
brand new
hard mode,
characters.
so I don't.
Yeah,
think
yeah.
have
You
hard
want
mode
you
that-
can swap
Brand new
between at
characters.
least once you
Okay,
finish the
I
story.
would say just for the for me, I don't care. I mean, you guys do whatever, but for the
I
interest of
say
being
we do
fair,
play brand new characters. It makes it a bit
brand
more.
new characters. Yeah.
So we
Hard
just have to get a
mode-
character to the
My character
night
is
cycle.
shit.
I'll get one there and send it to you guys if you don't want to go through
No,
the tutorial
remember
again.
that save games didn't work. If you, we
Yeah,
tried
they did,
that,
didn't they?
remember?
No, I already got one past the
Okay.
tutorial. I'm not sure about Rage, but
Okay.
Hard mode. Make sure it's hard mode because normal or easy, that's not it.
Okay.
Night, survive one night, and you have to do it without save zones. You can't enter and exit. You can't go in there. You're just like zombies, basically.
Yeah.
That's going to be harder than surviving because a lot of the time I accidentally enter safe zones.
It doesn't matter. You fail. You have to start
Yeah.
again. Then.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So,
That's what I'm saying. That's going to be
avoid
harder.
safe zones.
Avoid
What
save
was it,
zones.
10
You can't
minutes?
stand
What'd you
on the
say?
7
same
minutes.
10 minutes.
That's how long the
7
night is.
Rooftop.
Seem better.
for more than 10 seconds. That 10 seconds is just me throwing it. But 2 hours, 7 minutes per try. You have like plenty of tries to do it.
Or
Yeah, you got like 12 or
a new
15 tries
character.
or something.
Is that what we're going with? A new character?
Yeah, and a
7
new
minutes
character.
to die.
They're not a level.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 7
character.
days to
Yeah,
die.
Alright.
Yeah, so
So
you have
total
7
new
minutes.
First night. Alright.
Okay, I'm feeling
No,
confident
first
about this
time
challenge.
you get night, I think it's part of the campaign. You have to get
Yeah.
to the safe house, get there, sleep,
Okay.
then start your night.
So get to the day-night cycle initiates. Once you hit
Yeah,
I,
basically.
and there's a clock that's changing.
That is the end of the tutorial, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so first night cycle, 7 minutes.
7 minutes. That's one night. Just spend outside. No save zones. You can't
Alright.
stand in on the same rooftop or inside the same building for more than 10 seconds.
Can we do it at the same time with all three of us coping with it? That would be awesome.
No,
Um,
we can't because we don't have computers here to be able to handle both of us playing.
Oh, we only have co-op. No,
Yeah.
no.
And yes, you
And it has
guys
to
are
be
free to do it
recorded.
as you
It's
can do it
okay.
within a
I will
computer.
go to an internet cafe just to do this challenge. I will.
On what? On whatever.
I don't care. I'll go to the internet cafe. I'll do it
And you guys are free
because
to do
my
whatever
crappy
you
computer
want.
has exploded. But anyway,
Co-op or with random people as co-op. It's all up to you.
no.
No.
Wait,
Wait.
I
I got an idea that I don't really want to
This
say.
all at once. Triple
Co-op.
What?
You are more likely to survive with co-op than you are on your own.
Nah,
So
fuck that. Have you
No,
played with
we-
Govind?
No, I mean we're all
What?
playing. No, what
I'm
I'm
not
saying
talking about
is,
giving specifically.
what I'm saying is we play together, but we can't help each other.
Just run off in
No.
different directions.
Yeah.
No,
So
the thing
we're,
is,
we're all on the same night and running different directions. You can't help each other.
Oh, I want to go into the beta zombie mode and survive a night as the zombie.
No. That
That's
Yeah.
a pain in the ass.
it doesn't count.
no.
Unless
And
I
this
can
is
do
the
it because
kicker.
I would
Since
think
we're
I
doing
can
this
do it.
as a team thing, right?
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
have because all of you will finish at the same time if you do finish, right?
Yeah. So we need a what is it? Zombies
see.
killed or something?
Yes. The number of zombies killed
Oh, okay.
and the number of volatiles killed. Obviously, volatiles give you
What
more
about bolters?
because they're what?
They're another
Oh.
nighttime zombie.
Don't
Okay.
care.
Yeah. The
Mm.
harder the zombie, the more points. Let's go 5, 10, 15.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So volatiles will be 15. We won't be killing him with those characters. I can guarantee
You
you.
could try. I mean, if
Nah,
you're
fuck
really
that. I'll just run the other way.
No.
What about? There's so many ways you could do it. You could do escaped pursuits and things like that. But we'll just go with the zombie kills.
No. Just zombie kills. Staying alive. Because if you kill a zombie and you die before the night goes. If you kill a zombie
And you get bonus 50 points if you sing that song.
Wow, you're killing them.
And
I got
if
this.
you
I got this.
if you kill a zombie and then you die, it's reset. Okay, just
Okay.
so you know, you don't get the points for that kill.
Yep.
So,
So if you
you
die,
have to finish.
if you die, you enter a safe zone, or you sleep. Well, that's in a safe. Die or enter a safe zone. Reset.
Or stay in
It's
the
gonna
same
become
spot for like
bad.
20 seconds.
Yep.
You're,
Oh
you
shit!
know.
My cat.
I
just
mean,
knocked
I'm not
something
saying
over.
11 seconds. Say you gone, but you know,
Yeah.
Can I
If I-
just play Dead Core?
if you.
And on that note,
and
guys,
believe it or
that is
not,
the end of the
this is-
podcast.
Or not.
Please keep an eye on the YouTube channels. We've got lots
Yes.
of cool things going up. Gavin's got his Scratch the Itch series.
Yep.
Rach, what have you got going up on your channel?
I got a few videos. I think hopefully by the end of the week. I think I've been playing Dust Elysian Tale. It's quite pretty, so I'm excited to be playing that at the moment.
Yep.
That's about it.
And we've got the Deadcore challenge
Yes.
going up.
There will be 5 hours of Gavin raging at Deadcore
And unedited. I haven't touched it. That's raw footage.
because he can't bear to
freaking-
live through it again.
No way. Yeah.
And
My
hopefully
life is
we
too long.
will also have some more Dying Light hard mode co-op go up.
Yep.
And there will be other bits and pieces as well coming, I'd say. So
Yeah.
Yes, well, yeah.
Hopefully, I have 80 gigs of stuff coming up, like Evolve Beta.
Oh, yeah.
I know people are hanging for that.
Evolve's getting a new DLC soon, and you still haven't put the beta up. Thank you very much for listening to us ramble for so long, guys. Leave any feedback in the comments or Twitter, whatever.
Definitely.
Closing comments. Anyone?
Just have a good 2 weeks, because we're gonna find out if these guys can survive at night and Dying Light next time around. So that's gonna be.
We'll see.
Excited. I'm excited because I don't have to do this.
But
This is
check out
awesome.
the site, see how we go.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna
Check
be
our
good, but
Twitter accounts, because we're gonna post sort of updates, I guess.
Oh,
you know.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh shit, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in again, guys, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Catch you guys later. Bye.
High from Mercury's ruined gardens to the swamps of old Chicago. We will reclaim our homes once more with bravado. Though it may be hard, hope is the fuel that burns our fire. That's why we'll fight till we win or die, we won't retire. That's why we'll fight till we win or die, we won't retire. Now this is the lure of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that you'll keep it may prosper, but the wolf that you'll break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the lure on it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Now this is the lure of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that you'll keep it may prosper, but the wolf that you'll break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the lure on it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is a pack.